Now we're going to go to healthcare and President Trump. He says he's behind the plan to repeal and replace Obamacare.
This will be a plan where you can choose your doctor. This will be a plan where you can choose your plan. And you know what the plan is? This is the plan. And we're going to have I think we're going to have a tremendous success. We will do something really, really important and really good for the American people. I think it's going to go.
But despite the president's support, the plan is already causing a Republican divide. Today, conservative critics of the new plan spoke out.
We are united on repeal, but we are divided on replacement. What's the best way to get past this impasse? Let's vote on what we voted on before, a clean repeal.
Highlights of the GOP healthcare proposal include eliminating the individual mandate, employer mandate in most healthcare taxes. It's replaced with an expansive personal healthcare savings accounts and big refundable tax credits. The legislation would also keep key portions of Obamacare, including protection of those with pre-existing conditions. It would keep dependent coverage until age 26, and Obamacare's Medicaid expansion would remain in place until the year 2020. Meaghan Smith is a former Obama administration and Democratic strategist at SKD Knickerbocker. Matthew Hurtt, he's been here before, former chair of the Arlington Falls Church Young Republicans and a GOP delegate. Your take, let's start with you, Meaghan. You're the new one here. Your take on the GOP proposal.
Sure. Well, they've been keeping this bill a secret, locked up in the basement, and now we know why. So Republicans finally released their health care bill last night. We still don't have an estimate of how many people would lose coverage under this bill. We don't have an official estimate from the CBO. There's
on what it's going to cost.
On what it's going to cost. Officially, how many people will lose coverage, although some people are saying 10 to 20 million people would lose coverage. But what we do know is that fewer people would be covered than current law. There's weaker protections and there's increased costs.
Okay. You've got big problems with the bill also, Matthew.
Absolutely. President Trump campaigned on repealing and replacing Obamacare for nearly a decade. House Republicans campaigned on repealing and replacing Obamacare. And the first step out of the gate is not to repeal, but to tinker around the edges. It's essentially like rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic.
Specifically, what is it you don't like about the GOP proposal?
Certainly. Well, first of all, it doesn't repeal Obamacare fully. It tinkers around the edges, including maintains some of the mandates and taxes, it maintains some of the regulations, and it essentially transfers the direct subsidy to a tax credit, which is in and of itself a subsidy.
Right. Somebody called that welfare. Conservative called it welfare. So what do we do at this point? I mean, the president wants this bill. As a matter of fact, correct me if I'm wrong, I get the impression that Donald Trump would have preferred another path. That is, allow Obamacare to remain in place because he thinks it's going to wither and die on the vine. He doesn't want to go this road. It's a lot easier to get to his tax cuts, right?
Well, President Trump has said a lot of things. President Trump has also said that he wants insurance for everybody. He's also said that he wants lower costs, and he's also said that he would save Medicaid. And this bill that was released last night does none of those three things. It breaks all of those promises. So I think one thing that would be wise and that the states would want would be that we slow this down and we hold some hearings before they jam this through Congress with House markups that are supposed to happen tomorrow.
Again, though, coming back to the president, you slow it down, then you slow everything that he's promised down, correct?
Well, unfortunately, for far too long, Republicans and Democrats have been concerned with this, Bruce, with a health insurance card. And they haven't been concerned with quality health coverage. Robert Grayboys of the Mercatus Center says that we have to take health insurance coverage and health care out of the fortress where it protects special interests and onto the frontier. Imagine, Bruce, again, 40 years ago in the newsroom, what it looked like, and imagine what it looks like today. If we had more opportunity, more health, more opportunities to expand coverage and other things, we would greatly improve health insurance coverage and health care and greater well-being.
What are the chances we end up with nothing? What are the chances we end up with no bill that can pass the House?
Well,
the Speaker says, though, that, they will have a bill.
The House only needs 21 Republicans to peel off. The Senate only needs 2, and it sounds like those numbers are realistic.
And a number of Republican senators have expressed concern with the process. They don't want to take it or leave it approach.
Right. So what do you think, Meaghan, what do you think is going to happen?
I think the House should hold a hearing on the bill. It's unprecedented for there to be a committee markup on legislation that impacts 20% of the U.S. economy.
And these are the same legislators who complained about Obamacare and how it was pushed through the House.
Yeah, These are the same senators, Senator Mitch McConnell, who said we should have a full Senate debate where there's an ability to have bipartisan input.
Right. Are they going to come up with a compromise bill or no bill?
I'm not sure about that. What I do know is that what they can do is expand or diffuse power to the states. They can allow the states to embrace or cover increased HSAs. They can remove the cap on medical residencies. They can streamline the process for FDA approval, and they can remove the cap on certificates of need that allow health centers to flourish.
Are the Republican Congress members prepared to go back home and to explain to people why some people are going to lose their coverage? Because everybody seems to agree there will be fewer people covered under the GOP plan, correct?
They've been going back home, and tens of thousands of people at town halls around the country have been expressing concern. They've been scared. They've been saying that they need to understand a plan, and they want to understand what's going to happen to their health care. I mean, if you think about this, what are some of the most personal things to people? It's health care, and it's your finances. Mm-hmm. And they need to understand what's going to happen to them.
Right. Kentucky, West Virginia, these places where Donald Trump, very strong, very heavy. A lot of these people are going to be impacted mostly.
There are plenty of opportunities to expand coverage and to lower the burden and make it easier for particularly low and middle income families to afford health insurance. For instance, your viewers in Maryland right now, me, a 30-year-old male, in all of my health insurance plans has to cover breast reconstruction for mastectomies. There are a number of mandates at the state level and the federal level which drive up the cost of health care and health coverage.
Okay, and you can't just tinker with Obamacare. You say it has to be repealed and replaced.
We've got to start over and move forward with different ideas.
You would be for tinkering.
I would
Make it better.
I think all Democrats would be for any type of approach that fixes health care. And they would love to have a conversation about how we can expand coverage for people, increase protections, and increase quality of health care.
Right. Okay. Thank you both for coming in. Appreciate it. To be continued.